Okay, I have a really exciting announcement to make. I've been invited to join the People's Party National organizing call tomorrow evening at 8:30 Eastern. So I will be talking about Whole Washington, representing Whole Washington, letting people know about Whole Washington's, multi-pronged approach, solidarity strategy for not only achieving healthcare justice, Medicare for all, state by state, just as Saskatchewan province opened the floodgates for Canada over 50 years ago. So we've got multiple states, as you all know, who are working and fighting to pass a single payer at the state level. So, but we're also always working to put enough pressure to fight at the national level. Now, there's been so much on Twitter, and I checked in a little bit on the Jimmy Dore show today, and I was tagged in a tweet that Amy Villela made, and of course, there's just all the stuff of Representative Jayapal introducing the bill, and then of course it goes. It has to be said that we don't have. Technically, we don't have the leverage to force that to be brought to a vote. However, the good news is that we have boots on the ground, grassroots activists. I don't know what's going on across the United States in every single congressional district. I encourage everybody to be doing some action, because the alternative is just to curl up and grumble about it, and we need action. So I would encourage you to look into finding, if there's some local actions to get co-sponsorship from representatives that are not a board. So that is precisely what Whole Washington and the Red Berets are going to do. And then I'm going to I hope my words are around a little bit better tomorrow. It probably will be. It's been a little bit of a long day, and it's kind of I just got out of an organizing meeting for the event. So I will be very, very excited to share. Yes. We need Whole Washington field guide. Well, yeah, sometimes I feel like we need it too. No, just kidding. The meeting tonight, the events meeting and the events and comms meeting was a really great, solid group of people. They're really putting. I'm not even on TikTok, but there's people overdoing, all the platforms that I don't engage in very much. I am on. What's the one? Instagram. I have an Instagram account, and I keep seeing these notifications that I have new followers, and I just think to myself, sorry, person. Like, there's no updates on there. I haven't posted anything in a long time. And I barely do Facebook, and that's for like local events to kind of go try to stay up to date and try to help spread Whole Washington's local events. And do some things on there. But really, Twitter, for me, some people are just happy bouncing back amongst all of these different platforms. I'm kind of old school. If you haven't figured that out about me by now, I like, not to say all knitters are old school. Some knitters are probably fantastic at juggling different. Somebody was like, are you in Slack? And it's like, yeah, I'm in there. Am I really in there though? No. If you want to get in touch with me on anything, I would suggest finding me on Twitter. That's where you'll find me, because I like to be very singularly focused. I'm not even great with email, to be honest. So I've been, Ron Placone said that he'd made a comment on Twitter saying, can one of you reach out to me? I'd like to cover this being our event on the 26th. Outside of Representative Kilmer's office, I will have my thoughts gathered so that I can speak clearly to People's Party National and everybody who is joining from local hubs, and hoping to get the word out to particularly Washington State People's Party, we're in touch. So we'll do that, and we'll be in touch. And I'm definitely going to be inviting them to show up with whatever signage that they have that says People's Party of Washington. If they have signage, if they want to make homemade signs, they should feel this is what coalitions are all about. We don't expect everything to be uniformed in exactly the same way. It'll be great if they have some solidarity read on. Like a beret, or we'll have berets down there for people who don't have berets. And if they can, we'll probably get them out free to people if people can't afford, or if they can afford to chip in anywhere from $5 to, $27, or, just somewhere in there. And Georgia will be bringing t-shirts if there are some extras. We've been doing this special on the whole Washington merch page, which is like you get a free t-shirt when you order a beret. So I think that if we can ask people for like a minimum of $10, or ideally a little bit more than that, they could easily just type that in, enter their donation, and then we'll give them a beret and a t-shirt. Because it's going to be very visually stunning for Kenny Ballantyne to be able to see everybody all around the block. I'm going to be doing these signs. I don't want to give all the secrets away about what the signs are going to say, what we're going to stencil on them, but we absolutely, there's going to be whole Washington banners. But I think what would be really, really smart, what I would advise the People's Party of Washington to do, is to kind of get together and plan how they can kind of be in solidarity with whole Washington red, at least some part of the way. But how could they also make it very clear that it's the People's Party of Washington State who are coming out, and Green Party. We have a couple members of, as I've mentioned on other live feeds, there will be Green Party. I hope there will be DSA. So this is the whole idea behind the Red Berets. Everybody should feel welcome to put their own, berets are not required. You're not going to be kicked out from the event for not wearing a red beret, but I made these so that people can use it as a canvas for their different organization. If people want to wear these with like People's Party buttons, or with specific candidates that they're supporting who support Medicare for All's buttons in the future. Yes, thank you, David. So I would advise People's Party to be because they're going to be filmed. This is going down in history. Like, this is the first stop for Kenny Ballantyne. And we already, as I've already alluded to, and not giving away all the secrets of everybody who's being interviewed, but like Washington State is the first stop. And I had a meeting with him yesterday, and he was asking, how is outreach looking? How many people are you expecting? What's it going to kind of, what am I working with here? And I said, well, I would like to be able to guarantee you like 300 or 500 people. But I said, I hope we can count on 50. I said, we can for sure count on 50, because I know I can name on my hand that people are coming up from Vancouver. I know a core handful of people that are going to be there right here in Tacoma. Scott Denoyer and Lisa Serafini are flying in. George is flying in from Eastern Washington. Jen Nye's coming down. So we have at least 50 or 60 people. It would be amazing if we could get 100 and up. And I would suggest, to the People's Party of Washington that you make it overwhelmingly clear and mark that in history that you're the party that is there to pass universal health care. That's going to send a very powerful message to everybody who's feeling hopeless right now. Number one, is there anybody that's out fighting for me? We all know every person. I've canvassed my precinct to be precinct committee officer. I had to kind of try to not take a feel, that sounds wrong. I had to try to get a barometer on where people were at. Overwhelmingly, the majority of people, even though I live in a very, very blue, stupid word, but I live in a really progressive and rather not a super high income precinct. So the majority of people would definitely be blue voters, but overwhelmingly, I came across people who were highly distrustful of the system. They were shocked to see anybody there canvassing for them because the Democrats don't come here. The Democrats don't need them. They don't need people in lower income areas. They go and they canvass and they go to they just go to where the money is. They figured out how to keep their power and screw all the people that live in Hilltop. Well, I've made sure that this documentary is being filmed right here in Hilltop. That's where I work. So yes, every single representative at every level, both the local 27th and I'm not going to go, we're going to just stick with Representative Kilmer. In the meeting today, someone was like, shouldn't we be, including or focusing on the other representatives in Washington State who do not co-sponsor Medicare for All? And we've made the decision that it's going to stay very highly. We're in Kilmer's district. This is just about Representative Kilmer. If it's a success, we can go and learn from it and do similar actions for like Dr. Kim Schreier, who is a medical doctor who doesn't support Medicare for All. So anyway, that's how that's all going. I think it's a very, very big opportunity for Washington People's Party. And that is what I would, it's a huge opportunity for whole Washington. It's a huge opportunity for the 99%, but I would just say to every organization that wants to come be a part of this event, this is the model that we are working on and being happy to collaborate and offer to the People's Party, is that this is, and they understand about coalition building, but let's bring that into how we organize for healthcare justice as well. Because hopefully the Tacoma DSA, like we're doing outreach, and of course our Revolution Washington Bernie-Crat Coalition, they're very strongly progressive. They're definitely kind of doing that inside out approach as far as like candidates that they're going to support. They're going to support strong Democrats who are running. They're going to support people who run in the Washington State Progressive Party because they have ballot access, that they're going to endorse and support People's Party as soon as People's Party gets up and running. They've even interviewed and worked with a Republican, like I can't quote who that was, but he was like really kind of a different sort of Republican and very, very grassroots and free of corporate cash. And, so yeah, the point is that our Revolution Bernie-Crat Coalition has been strong coalition partners with Red Berets. Our Revolution Bernie-Crats were the first people and as well whole Washington to wear the red berets. So they all have their red berets, and but they'll probably have their Our Revolution shirts on. They should. I should reach out to. They may also have their whole Washington shirts on. You know what I'm saying? So, but different orgs should feel very free to. Orgs and parties should feel very free to come and kind of show themselves as being, aligned and in solidarity with whole Washington and the Red Berets, but also bring something that can set them as, here we are, we're coming for you, establishment. So, I hope that I'm able to convey all of that. I feel nervous but excited. Because sometimes I feel like I do my best here on these live feeds where I've got a little bit of moral support or people watching. And if one of the people that's watching here is you, David. So thanks for joining. And I've been calling Fran Bauer, which is her name, but she goes, that's what she goes by on Facebook, which is funny that I'm calling her Facebook name when I'm on Twitter all the time. So it's Fran Sylvia's daughter, and her is @VoteNoGMO. And you will see if you go and follow her, please. She is a nurse who lives down in Florida, who has been crafting and crocheting in solidarity. She sent berets to Jen Perlman. She sent a beret to Paula Jean Swearingen. So she's, and I think she even sent one to she was saying she sent one to Dr. Cornell West. Not some. I've sent one to Roseanne DeMoro. So sometimes people, and we happen to know that Susan Sarandon ordered a red beret, but people don't always do public stuff about it. It'd be really cool though. Maybe one day we'll see Dr. Cornell West if he received his beret. It would be great to see him in it, But there certainly isn't people have a public. We've never seen Bernie in his red beret. I sent him red berets, and his staff put about 2 of them on his desk, and he sent the letter of thanks. So imagine, I guess, with the established mittens are a little bit less scary for people. I guess if Bernie put on one of these berets, not to mention, I don't think he's really much of a hat person, but this is a little bit less apparently a beret is kind of like this militant, perhaps it's really red and kind of Russian, or it's French. I don't know. I like to guess at why that would have been a bad thing. And the other thing is, Bernie's office staff was trying on the berets, and they were very excited about them. So it is actually quite possible that they kind of didn't give any berets to Bernie, but then kind of realized when I kept calling incessantly his office to follow up that, they got the word to him, or maybe it was Bernie's signature, and it was not a form letter. It was handwritten, typed, but very personal, and it sounded really as if Bernie. It just really sounded like it was coming from Bernie. So I think it was from Bernie, or maybe somebody that just knows him really well, and they signed it and sent it. I don't know, but either way. I have used the letter over the last several years to kind of say, I've knit for Bernie, because I have. We sent 18 to his office. And sometimes my point is that Dr. Cornell West is under no pressure to put on his red beret, but hopefully he received it. And maybe he just kind of had no idea, what is this? Or, anyway, we'll get to talking about these berets, and hopefully foment some action where we can convey that people can be crafting them. People's Party can probably find a way to have some crafters crafting for their candidates to raise money. You just have to do it the right way and stuff. And I'm not going to head all of that stuff up, but I am going to be more than happy to be on sort of creative organizing calls where I make some suggestions about how you can get people crafting, and how we've done it for Whole Washington, and to help Whole Washington raise some funds. Anyway, so hopefully you're all going to follow Fran Sylvia's daughter at Vote No GMO, and you'll see her pinned tweet, which is easily that you can always feel welcome to share her pinned tweet out. I'd like to remind people, and I'm not going to remember to say, look at how long I've already run, and I'm not going to get 18 minutes to speak tomorrow. And I need to speak about the most important things, including mainly talking about Whole Washington, probably. But it will be really nice, hopefully, if I remember to try to get the word out that people can really, we could change something like that for Washington State. Currently, we don't have the money to launch the ballot initiative. We need to make sure we have at least enough to print the cost of petitions. So literally, if people from the People's, and I know there's cost with building People's Party as well, so we're not trying to take away from anything that needs to be done, but certainly if people have some means and they are able to help, if they want to order one or an organizer bundle, we could use that help, or the mittens. We're kind of getting out of mittens season soon. That's of its time. But anyway, I'm very, very excited. I think that having all of this action around us going out in Rep. Kilmer's district to try to put the pressure, regardless, we will need a lot of people, and we'll need to make a lot of noise, and we'll need a lot of support on Whole Washington's Twitter, on all of the platforms to help spread it around. I think we can create a significant amount of pressure. So the ultimate would be if we're able to create the kind of pressure that makes things uncomfortable enough that Representative Kilmer co-sponsors, but either way, it's very good for Whole Washington because, and again, it's not like we sat down to say, how can we make Whole Washington look really good like we're doing stuff? These are the sorts of actions that we've planned all along to try to get to do these movement things, to try to gain support and move these immovable Democrats in service to the Medicare for All movement, with all these barnstorms and stuff that we've done. So the best thing, boy, I really hope I can get my thoughts together. At least I won't be able to say everything. There's really a lot to share about it. There really is. But the most important thing for us to put across, or one of the most important things, is that how you show a solidarity strategy is, you do these actions where you're simultaneously working. You see, this is beneficial for Whole Washington, and it's beneficial for Representative Jayapal's legislation. At the best case scenario, we're going to be able to put enough pressure to get him to, that's very lofty. That's a very lofty goal, but we could have hundreds of people show up and a lot of sharing on social media, and you just never know. It could be quite uncomfortable enough. I think nothing would happen immediately, and I think that the Medicare for All, the Democrats have their marching orders that they aren't to budge even a single inch on this, because we don't have the votes. And we've already talked about this with Force the Vote. Nevertheless, what we're actually doing down there with these signs, of like half the signs are, I said I wasn't going to talk about the signs. The signs are hopefully going to be stenciled, and on one side it's going to be Representative Kilmer, please co-sponsor whatever the bill number is. Probably has a bill number and I don't even know about it yet. Haven't been really paying attention to it, or we might just say Medicare for All. Please co-sponsor Medicare for All. On the other side, it's going to be Representative Jayapal, please endorse Whole Washington. We have a right to make that demand, and that is my idea. And I'm making the signs and I'm putting it out there. And if we're down there and we have put a monumental amount of work into, trying to get another one of these really stubborn chair of the New Democrats aboard as a co-sponsor, or at least creating something that it will be permanently on the record, so that when we have another primary challenge, this is available. We can show that he had overwhelming grassroots pressure to co-sponsor Medicare for All, and he didn't do so. That's something that can be used for a future People's Party candidate to primary him. Okay, so I think quite a few steps ahead. And that's one of them, so that we're getting this on the record. That's the thing that's more for me, is we get this visually on the record. It would be great if he co-sponsored. I don't think he will. And even if he did, I don't really see whatever. But that does not mean that it's a useless action. We're getting this out there. We're showing the solidarity for the national bill and raising awareness for people. We are making our demands, and we are showing ourselves as the grassroots who understand how to do a both-and strategy. And the both-and strategy is to always be working for the national legislation, simultaneous to be saying, we could pass this. We could pass this in Washington State even now. I got a letter from Representative Fay, and I will make sure, at least on a live stream. I'm not sure in the documentary, just because I don't know if that'll be what comes up, But I'm going to make sure to be mentioning that Representative Fay, Representative Jenkins, and Senator Darnell, right here in the local 27th district, do not endorse Whole Washington. They don't endorse Whole Washington. So they are not upholding the Democratic Party platform. On the state Democratic Party platform is universal health care, because we had some awesome progressive Democrats like Jason Call and Georgia Davenport, and among many, many others that I just can't name everybody, who got together and pushed and got that voted onto the platform. And obviously, I've said this on live feeds before, the reason it was stopped from being at all costs, from being on the national platform is because they know that it's at least a little bit of a bargaining chip. Yes, it doesn't, a platform doesn't really mean anything, but it's just 1 inch closer. They were making sure that they couldn't give us anything. Nothing to work with, because you see how we can use it. I can tweet at all of these people. I can call them out and say, you are not upholding your state platform. You are in violation of your state party platform. And I will be doing that. So you see how we can focus on the national legislation, and we can also work for our local efforts. And it's all tied together. And so, yeah, I've got to go now. But thanks for joining, David, and whoever else is seeing this video. I will see you all tomorrow evening at 8:30 Eastern on the National People's Party call. I look forward to hopefully feeling that I get out the information that people want to know. First and foremost, it's probably just going to be how excited that I am that we now are being able to, we have some allies in offering this as a strategy, because we've already been working, in solidarity with, Healthcare for All Los Angeles, and some people, for CalCare, and we're like retweeting, and they've had us as their pinned tweet when we had introduced our Senate bill. And, we try to elevate New York Health Campaign, and like Justin Jackson giving the trifecta. There's other states too, but that 3 of the main ones that have a really good chance right now is, of course, New York, and California and Washington State. But increasingly, people can continue to keep me and keep us abreast of who's got some efforts going, and we'll continue to lift everybody up. And that is just when there's real chances for people to work on passing state by state single payer. That also brings people out to realize this might be worth fighting for. There is a party that is now going to represent and fight for my platform. So that's pretty powerful, and I look forward to that. And thank you for joining me this evening, and I will see you tomorrow night. Bye.